start the recording. Okay, so I am now. All right. Welcome to today's webinar. Today is the 21st of August, 2019, and I am hosting this webinar all the way from San Francisco in the USA. And this is a sequel of an event that I hosted in Gaborone in Botswana on the 3rd of August. And a lot of people attended this webinar, but as you know, life always happens. Some people did not attend due to distance, and I decided to do a webinar version of it so that people can be able to participate as well. So this is where we are today, and it's going to be approximately an hour. I fit it into that hour so that those who are going back to work can go back to work. So I'm going to start with a question for you, that on a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 represents a healthy self-image and 1 represents a low self-image, where are you now and where do you want to be? I want you to type that in the chat box. Type that in the chat box. On a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 represents a healthy self-image and 1 represents a low self-image, where are you now and where do you want to be? You need to decide where you are and where you want to go. And then also the why is very important, but it will come up at a later time. So can you just quickly type that at the box? So Marang, you say I'm now at a 4, and where do you want to go, Marang? Umgul say I'm at a 6, I want to be at a 9. So let's get that. Let's say I'm at a 3 and I want to be at a 9. Wami said I'm at a 7 and I want to be at a 10. Mara said I want to be a 9. Homunze say I'm at a 5, I want to be at a 10. And Regina said I'm at a 4 and want to be at a 9. Kalelo 6 wants to be at a 10. Let's get those commitments coming in. Let's get those commitments coming in. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's very interesting. That's good. It's always important to decide why, where you are starting from and where you want to go and why you really want to go there. That's one of the very, very important pieces out there. So I'm just going to share with you what I'm going to cover with you today. What I promise is that I'm going to share self-image, the whole concept, and why it's important to me and to you, especially if you are in this call today, is because there is something that I spoke about self-image that really spoke to your life and encouraged you and inspired you to come and attend this webinar. And then 2, I'll share with you some strategies to help you improve your self-image. If you have got any questions, I'll answer them. And then I'll share with you the next step. If you're really interested in developing your self-image, improving it from where it is to where you want to go, I will share with you the next steps that you can take. And I know they will definitely really help you to actually get there. For me, self-image is something that I really did not know much about until 2014. Interestingly, I grew up with a very self-positive self-esteem, really owning my worth, even if I came from a very, very poor family background. And there are times when my self-esteem and my confidence is what opened doors when Otherwise, they couldn't have been opened. But it was in 2014 when I joined the John Maxwell team, and I started learning about the difference of all these things, that there was actually the self-image, which is the driver, which is driving our results, you know. And it was at a time when I had transitioned from being an academic into entrepreneurship, and I was really struggling at that level, handling, you know, all the different facets of my lives, and wanting answers and wanting solutions. So it's when I came across that quote by Dr. Miles, that your self-image determines really your life, and that you can't outperform your self-image. And I became really interested, and I realized that a lot of what was holding me back was actually my self-image. So it's very interesting, because you can have a very high self-confidence, you know, high belief in yourself, your self-confidence. But if if your self-image, the way you see yourself inside, is not in alignment, you are going to self-sabotage. So you are going to really know what you want and feel like you can actually get it. But then if how you see yourself and how you actually operate out there is not in alignment, you are going to end up self-sabotaging yourself. So you are going to keep on, you know, taking action and then stopping on the way. When you are about to make a breakthrough, you're going to regress and go back. So for me, that is when I really started being interested in this. And I ended up enrolling in a program offered by one of my mentors, Paul Martinelli, which was self-image mastery. And I went through that program. And at the end, we were licensed to share it and teach it to other people. So for me, I realized that if I'm not working on my self-image, I'm not going to be able to achieve the dreams that I have. And every day when I'm challenged in the business, I look at, okay, how is my belief system related to this? Whether it's making a new program or offering a new offer or raising my prices, I realized that at one point or another, if my self-image is not in alignment, I'm going to really struggle to get it out there. So really, this is a very powerful concept that drives our results. Whether you are aware or not, your self-image is actually what is driving your results. And it's very interesting because I think if she didn't drop, I have it. One of my clients, I will maybe talk about her and how I saw the self-image actually stopping her and limiting her. She's actually here. I was coaching her one-on-one as well. She's the creator of one of my programs. Okay. Yeah, so this is brought to you by Leadership Institute, which is where we strive to transform the way we live and lead, because everything comes from how we live and how we lead. Okay, I think I'm going to stop sharing this. I think I'm sharing a different thing somewhere. Okay, I'm just gonna flip through this. Just want to confirm if it's okay. That's fine. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. So I am just going to really jump into self-image. Remember, we talked about time and how I'd want us to be able to stick to that. So I'm going to continue sharing that. Okay. So really, I think because I've been talking about the self-image for a while now, maybe most of you are wondering really what is this self-image concept, especially once you are aware of, if you know yourself, if you know self-esteem, you know self-confidence. Self-image is actually what drives our results. Really, that is the major driver that drives our results. And this concept of self-image was actually discovered by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. He was a plastic surgeon, and as a plastic surgery doctor, he actually performed surgery on people. And he noticed that when he did that, a couple of things happened. Sometimes when he performed that self-surgery, it will change the appearance, but sometimes it will change a client's whole life. But sometimes when he changed people's appearance, it had no effect of whatsoever. And there is one particular woman that he talked about that after he actually restructured her whole face and removed the bandages, she looked in the mirror and said, I don't see any difference. So the doctor took the pictures from before and showed her and made her look at them and said, oh, I guess I'm different, but I still feel ugly. So you see, that was someone who was thinking that if they change their outer appearance, they will feel beautiful and feel good about themselves. But still with the surgery and with a restructured facial appearance, she still felt like she was ugly. And this is what led him to really think another image, inside of us, a self-image. So in the way of how we actually see ourselves. Who has not muted themselves? Can you quickly do that? There is someone that's listening. Okay, let me see if I can unmute you. Okay. Okay, let's see there in the chat box. Okay, 8 and I want to be 10. All right. So that's when he really realized that there is that inner image, inside of us. There's an internal image that we all hold. And that is how we see ourselves. And he realized that that image is necessarily not changed just because the outer image is changed. In fact, that doesn't necessarily even resemble the outer image at all. And that is how we see ourselves. And I've seen this happen over and over in my programs, especially in Ignite Your Spark, where a lot of people really had a transformation in their lives, but they could not align it with how they saw themselves. So for me as a coach, I could see that they've made so much progress, but for themselves, they still couldn't feel like they were there. They still felt like there was something missing. And that is where the self-image comes in. Because even though they have actually made progress, they have actually changed, they actually don't see themselves at that level yet. So it is that discrepancy between how we see ourselves and how we really show up that really start affecting our results. And that is why Dr. Miles ended up saying that it is impossible to outperform that self-image, the idea of how you want to look, the idea of how successful you want to be. So really, that is what self-image is all about. And if you want to summarize it, really our self-image is those belief systems, the conditioning, the ideas, all of those ideas that we have either programmed into our minds because of how we want to show up, or how society or how people who came before us have actually programmed us with those ideas. So it is those ideas, that you have about yourself, those ideas that you have been accumulating over time, and you have been putting them in the subconscious mind. So you are not consciously aware of them because they were in the subconscious mind, but they are actually at work, they are at work and really driving the results that you are getting in your life and pushing you into a different direction that you actually want to go into. So literally your self-image is going to be your self-limiting beliefs. It is going to be your core beliefs, how you see yourself, the judgments that you actually have, whether you are judging yourself and beating yourself up. So all of those are negative belief systems get around to really stopping you from becoming the best possible version of yourself. So having said that, let's now look at why is it really important? Why is the self-image important? So whether you really realize it or not, how you see yourself defines so many aspects of your life. They define so many aspects of your life because at any given situation, it presents an opportunity for you to manifest what you believe in. So whether you believe positively about yourself or negatively about yourself, that is going to manifest. And that is why the first step to really changing your self-image is to become aware of really how do you define your self-worth? How do you see yourself right now where you are? So it has to start from there. So you need to start asking yourself questions like, what are my current beliefs around my worth right now? What are your current beliefs around your worth right now? And why are you saying that? It has to start from there, because your self-image is definitely going to be driving your results. And then, like I mentioned, one of the ways in which our self-image is really affected is where we start getting into this cycle of maintaining limiting beliefs, where we have beliefs that tells us that we are not enough, that tells us that we cannot do something. And these beliefs can be, they can be regarding anything in your life. It could be in your job, it could be in your family, it could be your relationships, it could be, you know, how you show up in life. When you look at yourself, you feel you are ugly, you feel you are fat, you know. And the more you accept all these beliefs, the more they become your reality, you know. Really, a simplified example would be always taking the same route to work simply because you have never tried a different way. So this is how really your self-limiting beliefs are going to stop you. Because you have been taking this route, you don't even want to try another route, which may be actually shorter. So what happens then is when you are forced to take a detour and realize that there has been another quicker, easier route the whole time, it changes the way you view your whole committing. So it challenges the limiting belief that was held in place, the one that kept you spending too much time on your daily travel. So this could be in any area of your life. It could be in your business, it could be at your workplace, it could be in your family with your kids, where you hold this belief that you cannot do something. And once you keep on repeating that belief, it becomes real. And breaking out of this belief can be an unsettling experience, which is why most people don't even want to try it, because it is discomfort. Which is why when I host a webinar like this, not many people show up, but I know that many people are struggling with their self-image and they need it. But because they're comfortable where they are, they don't even want to try it. So they feel like they are okay and they actually don't need this. And I want to share with you a quote. It's very long, so I will just read it. It's a quote from one of the self-esteem experts, Nathaniel Branden. So that apart from disturbances whose roots are biological, I cannot think of a single psychological problem that is not traceable, at least in part, to the problem of deficient self-esteem. Of all the judgments we pass in life, none is as important as the one we pass on ourselves. You know, he really made a whole list of those judgments and those things there. He talked about anxiety and depression, underachievement at school or at work, fear of intimacy, happiness or success, to fear to happiness or success, to spouse battering or child molestation, to codependency and sexual disorders, to positivity and chronic aimlessness, to suicide and crimes of violence. So he named all of these psychological problems that are rooted in actually how we see ourselves. So this really shows how big this self-image concept is, even though we are still to explore it, especially back home in our country, where most people feel like you can just push and hustle. Whereas if you know that you are pushing against the grind, then you might as well stop and change the direction in which you are going. And then another way in which we actually impact our self-image is when we start playing small. You know, one of our Marianne Wilson's quote says that our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frighten us. Your playing small does not save the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. This is one of my favorite quotes for encouraging a more positive self-image. You know, a huge element of having a poor self-image is the belief that we are not good enough. But good enough for what and for who exactly? Like I normally say, who cares? Good enough for who? So by belittling your achievements, you know, striking off compliments or resisting things that we know make us feel good, we remove ourselves further and further away from our authenticity. And I know I've seen clients who are at that level, who feel like they can't have the best things that they can even afford, you know. I know how big this really gets. You can get people who are driving very, who cannot even drive the cars that they want because they feel like they are not worth to buy that. Or what do people say when they see them driving those expensive cars? So, you know, when we shrink the part of us that is trying to be heard, seen, and felt, and turn it into a minuscule version of what it could be if it were given the right amount of energy, this really drains us. It drains us. That is why conforming is one of those things that drains people up. So this results in a damaged self-image, you know, poor self-worth, and negative thought patterns which do nothing but keep us stuck. So these are things to ask yourself when you feel like, this is happening. You know, ask yourself, who are you not to shine? What is good enough? How do you define your understanding of good enough? And whose terms are you using to define that? And who are you trying to impress, really? Who are you trying to impress when you are saying you are not good enough? So I want you to ponder on those questions, really, when you start finding yourself so when you really start asking yourself those questions, ask yourself, who am I trying to impress? You know, who am I trying to actually impress? Then you will realize that you don't need to be. Okay, Tembi is saying I cannot hear. Tembi, I think it's your connection there. Let me know if you still can't hear, Tembi. Let me know if you can still hear. So that is playing small. And then another issue that really damages our self-image is when we don't know how to define success. You know, it is when we start comparing ourselves with other people. This is one of the major questions to ask yourself when you feel yourself starting to compare yourself with others. What does success mean to me? Ask yourself, what does success mean to me? Because, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. You know, comparison is a thief of joy because success is different. If you can Google success right now, you are going to get so many different definitions. Okay, thank you, Tembi. You are going to get so many different definitions of success. So you want to really find out what would it take for you to feel like you are successful in your life. And why have you formed that belief? So it means you need to define success in your own terms, whether it's financial, emotional, circumstantial, you know, family. What does that look like for you? Because the society we live in has conditioned us really to form beliefs surrounding these areas of our lives. And it can be so difficult to break out of the cycle of what society wants and realize that our beliefs are not the only way to perceive them. So which is why I really believe so much in coaching, because in coaching, we believe that whatever that you want is within you. So whatever I do as a coach is to help you tap into that. I'm not trying to tell you how successful you should be or how success should look like for you. I may share what I'm doing in my life to inspire you, but not in any way to want you to do what I'm doing or to want you to look exactly like me. I'm inspiring you to want you to decide what is it that you want for yourself so that you can go out there and actually start living that. So everyone defines success differently. And something which will really help your self-image is to really define that for yourself and aim for that instead of trying to impress other people or instead of trying to copy, you know, other people's definitions. So this is really a big piece of what happens right now. The reason why we get so many mental illness, so many people getting depressed is because they did not define their success and they are trying to base their success on what other people are actually living. Then another issue that lowers our self-image is our past experiences. What did you go through? So a quote by Kato says that what we feed our minds shapes our perceptions, and our perceptions shapes our reality. What we feed our minds shapes our perceptions, and our perceptions shape our reality. So this is very, very common. If you have experienced hardships, you know what it's like. So that you end up forming a self-image through repeated thoughts, cycles, and behaviors that you've experienced. So by allowing these past experiences, both good and bad, to be part of our current reality, we are effectively still living in the past. So you will still find yourself living in the past. So the more we cling to these experiences or labels and definitions for ourselves, the more we reinforce them. That is why I always say, rewrite your story. What story are you telling yourself? Rewrite your story, because you want to start seeing yourself at your current level, where you are right now, the way you want to show up in your life. You don't want to really get stuck in what happened in your life in the past. So really, when I say that our current beliefs first before we can hope to change them, so it means that you need to become aware of what are your current beliefs about your past and yourself before you can even want to change them. So I want to really challenge every one of you who have scored maybe less than 5 to really look into your life and to say, dig deep. What has caused your poor self-image? Why? How did you find yourself where you are right now? What happened in your life? When was the first time you remember thinking a negative thought towards yourself? Where and how did that situation come about? How can you avoid situations in the future? So I always take my clients back to say, when did that start? When do you remember really feeling that bad about yourself, having those negative thoughts about yourself? Because that is where you need to start changing your perspective from what happened there in the past. What did you believe about yourself when that really happened? And then another concept that fuels our negative self-image is when our core beliefs are not met. So in order to get to the bottom of any self-image issues, or even just deepen your understanding of them, what you really want to do is you want to really clarify your core beliefs. You know, maybe we are asking, what are core beliefs? So core beliefs are the things that you know to be true for yourself. So what is true to yourself? Things that are irrelevant to anyone else around you, but you know that they are true to yourself. Things that make you feel aligned and filled with purpose, contentment, and fulfillment. What does that look like for you? Simple things like, I know that I like to work out. I know that I like to wake up early. I know that I like to spend time on my own. You know, those things that you know deep down that you want to do. Or they can even be deeper than that. It may be, I have an inner desire to travel. If you want to travel and you want to meet new people, you want to discover your purpose, or you want to live your purpose and share your knowledge. So those are some of the things that you have your core beliefs. Whether you are that person who believes in authenticity, you value truth, and if you are not in alignment with it, you are going to start chipping on your self-image. So really, core beliefs can be simple in your ways, or it can be very large concepts that can start chipping into your self-image. And then another element that brings us into a poor self-image is when we start repeating actions that are actually not serving us. You know, neuroscientists study the responses and reactions of our brains, and it's very clear from what they see that repeated actions and repeated thoughts result in our brain developing new, neural pathways. So this means that our thoughts literally have the power to change the way our brains work. So in terms of self-image, the more we tell ourselves something and reaffirm it, the more rooted in our minds it becomes. If you feel like you are not worthy, you are ugly, you are not worth doing something, it actually becomes rooted in your mind. And this is why negative beliefs about ourselves become so damaging, because it changes the neural pathways in our brain. So what might start as a vague comment or split perception becomes transient and it takes root, which is why one of the things that I stand for is authenticity. I stand for acceptance. I want people to be allowed to be themselves I don't want people listening to the stories of others so that they actually start branding themselves with those limiting stories. So the more energy you give a thought, the more it builds and strengthens. So our thoughts are like muscles, and you don't want to be building a muscle that is not saving you. You want to be building a muscle that is going to be really saving you. So that's the first shift you want to do, is really your thought pattern, from damaging thoughts to more fulfilling thoughts that will move you to another level. So you really want to look at those repeated thoughts that are not actually serving you at all. And then another aspect that affects our self-image is nutrition. There is a strong correlation between our nutrition and our mental health, because at the root of self-image is actually mental health. Once you start thinking about this for a very long time, they start affecting you there at the brain. So it has been proven time and again that by improving the quality of the food we eat and the way we move our bodies, we can change our relationship with ourselves and ultimately improve our overall self-image, which is why in my programs, you know, that the first thing that I start with is self-care. Is really taking care of yourself, is being able to eat healthy, moving your body, being able to quieten your mind and listen to your inner self. So it's not just that I love to do it. It is something that has been proven scientifically that it will help improve your self-image when you really start implementing those things. So, and that is why I actually don't even tell people what to eat and what not. I share with you the knowledge, I share with you the information, and then ask you to decide what works for you, what is in alignment with who you are, what works for your body, what exercise are you going to do if you are doing exercise, what food are you going to really eat, because it needs to come from you. And then another part that I want to talk about that affects our self-image is relationships. You know, if you ever heard the saying that how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself? This is why self-love is very important. You need to start with yourself, because you can't give what you don't have. Honestly, if you don't love yourself, you can't love other people. But we know most people who want to love others when they don't love themselves, and we see what happens. And sometimes we stop loving ourselves when we have our flaws. You know, we realize that we have got these weaknesses that we have, and too often the personal and self-image is to get projected onto a loved one and end up causing toxic relationships on them. So if you don't love yourself, you're going to, you know, spill it over to other people in your life, which is why when people are frustrated, they take it off through their spouses and their other relationships. So, you know, and once these relationships start relying on these flaws, you actually become unable or unwilling to face your own self-esteem issues, resulting in you using maybe your partner, maybe your kids, you know, as a crutch to lean on support or throw it on them. When I was going through a rough space in my life and I would shout at my kids, Flo would tell me, Mama, don't take your stress on me. You know, and that really showed me that whatever that we are going through, we actually spill it onto the people who are around us. So you want to look at how are you managing your relationships and how are they affecting your self-image? Because if you don't handle them well, it becomes an unfair imbalance of energy that won't be necessary. And then, and that imbalance then taken, you know, taking the time to focus on your self-image issue, where you come from and how to combat them. So if you feel like you are having that negative energy relationships, ask yourself, you know, focus on those issues and ask yourself, where are they coming from? And how can I actually combat these issues? Because it's all quite a deep process that comes down to you becoming aware and willing to do the work to improve your self-awareness and your self-image. And it starts with you being aware in the first place. Why am I behaving like this? Why am I being triggered by this? Why am I shouting at this person? What's really happening? So look at your relationship and see what is it that you can do on that. And then another way in which we manifest the negative self-image is through our mirror image. What does I mean when I say that? I'll share a quote by Wayne Dyer. He said that when you judge another, you do not define them, you define yourself. When you judge another person, you don't define them, you define yourself. So really, it's like a mirror image of what's happening. So one fascinating aspect of the social science behind self-image is the fact that when we communicate with others, we mirror our own insecurities in how we treat them. When we communicate with others, we mirror our own insecurities in how we treat them. So really, for an example, if the first automatic thought and judgment you have on meeting someone new is she's too loud, then chances are that this judgment is something that you actually hold against yourself. You wish you could be as loud and confident as this person. And I know that this one is an extreme, but let's talk about how people dress. Dressing. I use it a lot because I can dress anyhow I want. And most of the time people judge me for that. But you realize that people who judge me are those who really would really want to put on those shorts, but they don't have the confidence to do that. It's either one, they don't have the body shape to fit in them, or secondly, they don't even have the confidence to dress like that. So instead of really acknowledging that, wow, those just look good on you, instead say, no, you are too old to be wearing this dress. You are a married woman, and you are degrading your husband. So they come up with all these sorts of things. But deep down inside, they really wish they could be doing that. So you want to really look at how you mirror other people, what is actually happening there. And then the other thing is the body positivity. How do you see yourself? This is the same example that I shared where someone, a client to Dr. Maz went through surgery, and then they still didn't see themselves looking very well. So we have a lot of issues where people don't see themselves positively and they start beating themselves up. I always say appreciate how you are first, and then start working on yourself. So acknowledge if you are overweight that you are overweight, and then start looking into, okay, how can I really start losing this weight if that's what you want to do, and do that from a place of love and inner peace, instead of really hating your body and forcing yourself to do so many things that are not going to actually help you into what you want to do. So I've really shared quite a lot there with you. There are a number of ways that you can do to help, which is you can visualize, you can meditate to help you quieten your mind and do some of those things. So I just want to pause here and ask you a few questions, that because I've shared quite a lot of information with you, and probably some of you, there are emotions coming out. Some of you may be excited, some of you may be overwhelmed. So every emotion is okay, but I want you to really now share there on the chat box that how are you feeling right now with what I've shared. Can you relate? Do you relate with something that I shared? Do you see things that are actually limiting you, or that have been limiting you in your life? Or when you look at what I shared and how you rated yourself, do you think you rated yourself well? Or you think you could increase your rate? Or you think you need to reduce your rate? So go on there on the chat box and share. Go there on the chat box and share with me what you think there. So let's quickly do that. The chat box. Yes, Tembi, the mirror image concept is liberating, because if you are not aware of it, it can really kill your self-image, because you will reduce yourself to the level of that person who is really throwing back their mirror at you, not knowing that that is what's happening to you. So how do you feel right now? Is it overwhelm? Is it excitement? Is it triggering something? Or do you see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that you can actually improve your self-image so that you are getting your major goals achieved in life? So someone shared there that she is thrilled. So can you continue sharing there on the chat box? Let me hear what you think. Let me hear what you think there. Okay. So I've really shared quite a lot and some insights into how you can start changing there. Yeah, okay, Marang say, I told you that I've been bashing myself, telling myself that I'm fat and feel I'm not photogenic at all. Ooh, Marang, but did you see how photogenic you are in the pictures. Yeah, that is very interesting. You know how low self-image would really tell you that. So you need to really work on that, because you are actually photogenic. Wami said, I rated myself well, therefore I need to work hard to achieve my itinerary in this today. Okay, thank you, Wami. I might say I rated myself well. There are some things I need to improve to get to a 9. Thank you. All right. So really, like I mentioned, we shared a lot of information here. It's easy to get information in, but the important thing is to really implement it and break through the cycle, because the cycle is something that has been developed over a very long period of time. And to actually break the cycle and help you get back to a mindset that is healthy, happy, and true to yourself, you must take action. You must take action. And this can come in many forms, depending on your experience and how you are and how you view your life. So, which is why I say very different strategies that you can actually use. But the main thing is to be aware is that it doesn't have to be a massive shift. It can be a small shift, but something needs to change. So you need to take action. You need to start doing something differently. Okay, and then, okay. So I'll just quickly read what they wrote there. Regina said, alignment of the internal external image is what I'm taking away. Appreciation for that. Thank you. And then Tembi say, I joined so late, so I did not manage to rate myself. Where I joined, I'm so thrilled by what I learned. There's an awareness, my negative self-image that I have to work on. To say, I'm relieved, I'm on the right track. I've been working on that lately and have recently changed my thoughts to positive always. And so I really cannot deliver it from this process. Syndrome. I got to work hard to undo the damage. Yes, it's a lot of work. It is a lot.
I'll put like a shared with me only.
Okay, can you read that for us?
Okay. She said, okay, what resonated with me is the self-image. I have realized that not taking care of my body led to my insecurities.
Okay, thank you very much, Kaupotake. Yes, some of these things, there are ripple effects, they are cause and effect, Although what I've realized as I started working on myself and when coaching clients is that most of the time life happens through us, but we always think like things are happening to us. We think the world is doing things to us, but things happen through us. So it's a cause and effect thing. So whatever that you do then gives you that those results. So once you start really neglecting yourself, the result is you are going to start feeling very insecure, feeling very insecure about yourself, and your self-image is going to really go down because of that, which is why I normally say start working on yourself, start working on your health. It's free, it's cheap. There is nothing so cheap, Milo. It's very cheap. You just eat healthy. So now I'm sharing Lilo went away. So Lilo is easy. You just eat healthy, you do your minimal exercise, you take it one step at a time. And the more you do that, the more you start feeling good about yourself. When I started sharing healthy living with my family, my kids many years ago, and Wipelo was already old and she was kind of resisting it and not wanting to implement and eat the things. But when she started doing it, she said, Mama, you were right. She said, when I start eating well and toning my body, the self-confidence goes up. And the way I view myself changes. I love myself more like this. So you see, for people that became her yardstick for staying healthy. It was no longer about my mother want us to eat healthy. She now found her own reason of why she wanted to actually keep healthy, because it helps improve her self-image and her self-confidence. So she started loving herself more and owning her worth. So that is really what you want to start looking at. So if you are really ready, what you've been doing, like I mentioned, you're collecting information, but you want to experience it. You want to put all of this into action. We all know that you can never plow a field by turning it over in your head. which is what most people think. When I share, strategies with people as a coach, they feel like, no, I'll go there and implement it on my own. And they start thinking about it, not actually doing it. And sometimes I ask them, what makes you think this time you're going to do it alone when you have not done it alone in the past? Because it is your self-image telling you that, no, you can't change me, I'm comfortable. And most people don't even take action because they just get scared when they see what's available for them, when they see all the change that they can go through, because it becomes uncomfortable first before you start feeling good. So most people avoid that uncomfortable part there. But what can change things is when you start taking action, when you start moving those small pieces in your life. And it also happens when you know your motivation, like what motivates you to improve your self-image. Remember, I shared with you mine. Remember, I shared with you what the fellow's motivation was. So I want you to type in the chat box, what is your number one motivation right now to improve your self-image? What is motivating you to improve your self-image? Let's quickly jot that down. What is motivating you to improve your self-image? Because if your why is strong, it is going to be very easy for you to do that. If your why is strong, it's going to be very easy to start working on your self-image. So what is motivating you to start working on your self-image right now? Let's get that on the chat box. Let's get that on the chat box quickly. What is your why? Okay, Uncle is saying self-love. What is your why? Okay, I'm not sure if you are answering this. You are welcome, Leah. So what is your why? Quickly share your why there. Quickly show why. Remember, I shared mine there with you. So I'm just going to quickly get to the end of this. So for those of you who are ready to improve your self-image, I shared the rules, but there's actually a powerful way in which you can actually re-engineer your complete self-image is when you start working on that at a subconscious level. And this is where the self-image mastery program comes in. It can really help you do that. And this self-image re-engineer is for you if you are feeling stuck, if you are feeling like you are not enough, if you are feeling unworthy, if you feel ill-equipped, or if you feel like a victim. So this is some of the things that you go through when you are experiencing a low self-worth. If you are in business, you're going to have these great ideas, but to implement them is going to be a hurdle. You are not going to implement. Even if you are not in business, if you have got big dreams, you're going to have those dreams, but if your self-image is sabotaging you, you are not going to implement those. You are going to keep on talking about them, or you are going to start them and then stop on the way. Because the subconscious mind, which is where your self-image issues are, is very powerful. It controls almost what is happening in our lives. So you are going to find that you are going to self-sabotage. You are going to feel some of these things, But if you are there, I want to tell you that you are not alone, because most people struggle with their self-image. It may not be in the same area, but one way or the other, everyone is struggling with their self-image. But because if they are aware, then they are going to work towards actually to improve on it, to really work against the negative that is speaking into their head, and really change it. And then you are not powerless. You can do something about it. You can really work on your self-image and change it. With the help of programs such as self-image mastery, you can actually do that. It's a battle worth fighting. It's not easy to change, we know that, but it is a battle that is worth fighting. Because remember, you can never outperform your self-image. So it means you cannot perform at a higher level than your current self-image. It is like a lead in your life. And your self-image strongly held essentially determines what you become. This is what Dr. Maxwell Maltz, who wrote the book Cybernetics, shared. And in the self-mastery image, we are going to be using a part of this book, which he wrote many years ago and is still valid today. So it's up to you, because knowing the truth about yourself will set you free. So just as the self-image you hold was built through a process over time, it can be changed in the same way. It can change in the same way. So those unhelpful, unhealthy, unrealistic ideas of your lack and limitation can be examined and re-engineered with more helpful, healthy, and realistic beliefs about yourself and your potential. And the only way you can set yourself free is when you is through self-image re-engineering. So this is the process that I share with in the self-image mastery. This is a new program, our latest personal development program that I've never offered before. And I realized that we need it after doing Ignite Your Spark and seeing people graduate with those big dreams and ideas, but failing to implement them. Then I realized that what they was going through was actually a self-image issue. And we needed a program that was appropriate to address the self-image issue. It's not about self-confidence. No, it isn't. Because confidently you think you can do it, but then the self-image is saying, no, 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 you are not ready. You can't do it. Stop. So you really want to go down there to the self-image level and start addressing it from there. So giving a typical example that I wanted to share here, I wanted to share with an example of a client that I was actually coaching, who's certified as a coach. After we did Ignite Your Spark, she knew she wanted to become a coach, so she enrolled in a life coaching program. But what happened is that she did not see herself as a life coach, so she could not coach. And the first thing that we had to deal with was to help her really re-engineer the way she sees herself as a coach, really see herself as a coach, because there was no way she was going to coach people unless she saw herself as a coach. So this is a typical example of how it happens. You have the qualifications, but you still feel like you are not good enough. You still feel like you need more training, you need more qualifications, you need more programs. Then that's the self-image really talking you down and really slowing you. So this is a program that is going to really help you change all of those self-image issues that you have. So whether you want to break out of the rut, whether you want to stop the cycle of poor habits, whether you want to lose weight, you want to increase your confidence, or you want to achieve a new level of success, self-image mastery is for you. If you find yourself starting projects, stopping them on the way, starting things, being attracted to many shiny objects, and thinking you need to amass a lot of things, then your self-image wants it to be looked at. There is something that is really happening there. So when you enroll in this program, this was going to happen. We are going to explore what self-image really means for you and how it controls your life. We are going to think about how the self-image is formed for yourself and how you made it up. Understand the self-image re-engineering process and how to start applying it to all areas of your life right now. We are going to identify the tricks and traps your own self-image will create to keep you exactly where you are. And they will keep you where you are, your self-image. Keep on saying, no, I don't need that. I'm fine, I'm okay, And you really get clear on the success type personality that you have and how to develop your unshakable confidence. You decide upon your very own habits of success and how to implement them. No need to copy someone else's success habits. Decide on yours and really do that, because who you are is at the heart of everything you do. So when you take action today to live into your fullest, highest potential, then you're going to start seeing a lot of results into your life. So if you are ready to embrace a new self-image, then you are in the right place, because our 8-week self-discovery program will help you re-engineer your self-image so that you can start seeing yourself differently. You can start valuing yourself more and really taking up all those big, wild dreams that you have. And this is made up of 8 teaching calls with me. We go through the 7-step self-image re-engineering process, where all of the calls are recorded. You get a colored digital workbook to follow along. And then we have an online community where you will share and you can access your resources, download them wherever you are. And we are going to start using our latest platform, Kajabi, that we are just about to get into it. And then there's also a bonus there to attend our Live to Lead this year. So the investment for this program is 4.5. But if you are here today attending this, watching this, you can enroll as a charter client participant for only 2.5. If you pay in full on 25 August, 2019. So you've got 4 days to make a decision. And then one exciting thing about this, when you take up this offer, is that you get to attend Live to Lead as a VIP attendee. I'll share with you shortly what a VIP attendee is. And then if you are not ready to take up the 2.5, then you can enroll for 3.5, still discounted. You need to just pay a deposit of $875 on or before the 30th August 2019, and then pay the balance in 3 payment terms, September, October, and November. And then you can attend as a general attendee. The first one you attend as a VIP, and the second one you attend as a general attendee. So Live is our annual leadership conference that we host. We've been doing it for the past 5 years. This will be the 6th year now. And this is where we tap into a live audience in Atlanta, where we watch 5 international speakers share their leadership experts and personal growth expertise. We get insights that we can apply immediately, both in our personal lives and in our professional lives. So wherever you are, the content is tailor-made to take you exactly where you are. And then this is what you get as a general attendee. You attend one day in October 11, 2019. But if you attend as a VIP, this year we've added so much value into the program. So the first thing that happens if you attend as a VIP is the conference is 2 days for you. So the first day on the 10th, you get to do a DISC personality workshop. So this is where you get to discover who you are. You get to discover your strengths, your weaknesses. It's really a more detailed self-discovery process. So we're going to do the assessment and then the workshop to show you how you can start growing and developing yourself based on that. So this is what you can get when you do this, the DISC. It increases your self-awareness by learning your own personality style and how you work with others. It fosters better relationships at work, at home, and in social environments. It improves team collaboration, communication, and productivity. It minimizes team conflict, even at home, and help members of your team better understand each other. It helps, if you are an employer, it helps you to attract, retain, and develop the right people and empower them to thrive in the right positions. And then, as a VIP, you also get to join into my online leadership coaching program. This is a 10 weeks program that we will be going through, and you get to tap into this as well if you are a VIP attendee. And let me share with you the prices. The normal price for Live to Lead is $3,000 if you are attending one day, and it's 5.5 if you are attending a VIP. It's a VIP. So when you enroll in the self-mastery program, it actually gives you access to this exciting opportunity at a very lower price. Okay, so right now I'm just going to ask you, what is your self-image telling you? Some of you is going to tell you that no, that is too much money. I can't pay for that. I'm going to read. I'm going to watch all the YouTube videos I can get on self-image. Yes, you can do that, but there is a point where you need accountability. You need a process to follow. You need other people to guide you. So if your self-image is still telling you those stories, it wants you to get stuck. It wants you to be exactly where you are. It wants you to be comfortable. And I want to share with you.
Hello, this is Dr. Harold Peters. I'm a double board certified plastic surgeon. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Anna. If you're looking to improve your results in any area of life, you need to next actual system. I really want to encourage you to join my program, Self-Image Mastery. This powerful program focuses on one thing that needs to change. Everything change. That's your self-image. No change is self-image. One problem was right. But if you do it, everything changes. I understand the minds of the uncertain. This program is so powerful because it's so simple to need to start using it. Everyone can understand the concept of self-image. And as soon as you explain, you'll realize it's not.
Ako pala sentle ka na ken na hela.
Listen. Okay, that was a video from another plastic surgeon who was involved in this program when we were doing it. He was one of the facilitators, and he shared the importance of actually doing that. So we are almost done. Remember, I shared 2 opportunities with you. The first one was to enroll for only 2.5 when you pay in full or on or before the 25th of August, and then you get to attend V2 as a VIP attendee, or you then enroll for 3.5 and pay it in 4 payment terms, and you get to attend as a general attendee. And that is an opportunity that you don't want to miss. So with that, I want to take a few questions before we check out, because we are a few minutes past the hour there. But I know we started a little bit late, so I want to wrap it up there. So are there any questions there? Do you have any questions regarding that? Okay, they said not clear, not clear. So can we note who was here, and then we will share this video with you. We will share with you. Umkulu, can you get on that? Get to see who was here, and then let's share the video so that they can hear them. So is there,
I have their names.
Okay, is there any question? Any question that you have? Okay, if you don't have any questions and you know you are ready to start improving your self-image, I want you to take action right now. And I'm sharing someone who is here. I love when she said that when she was skeptical about coaching, and then until she joined Ignatius Spark. So there are results that you can get. That Tembibe is one of our clients, is my inspiration, given her age and her determination to start working on herself. It's a true example of how coaching can really help change your life. So if you are still doubting that, you can talk to Tembi and see what needs to really happen. So if you are ready, send us an email. We are already in our mailing list. Send us an email and tell us what option you want to actually take. We'll also follow up with you if you are attending live here to see how we can do that. But you can send us an email and we'll provide you our banking details so that you can start enrolling in the program and make use of all the opportunities that we have shared here. You get the self-image mastery program, which is 8 weeks. And then you also get to attend Live to Lead, our annual leadership conference, where you don't only learn from international speakers, but you also hear from some of our own local clients who have gone through this journey of personal development. They share with you their stories, their milestones, and you get to see that it's really possible to re-engineer your life the way that you want it. So if there are no other questions, I'm going to call it a day, but I'm going to open the line for a few minutes so that if you've got questions, you can ask them right now, and I am here to quickly answer them. Any questions? Any questions for me? If there are no questions, there are people that I want to ask a few questions. So I'm gonna really do that and ask. So Wami, can you hear me there? Hello, Wami.
Hello.
Yes, I want you to share after getting this information about self-image and what you are going through. Can you share with us any aha moments? What did you learn about yourself and the self-image?
Come again.
So it's someone that I've worked with for a long period of time and on one-on-one. When you look at where you are coming from and the self-image concept now, what aha moment do you get? Do you get any insight about what you have been going through all along?
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Yeah. There's a lot of aha moments that I'm getting through. As we were going through this, just a week before this self-image thing came again into my mind, that I need to go to another level. Even though I've been thinking it is clear, even though I've been thinking now I'm ready, I still need this more than before to take me to that level again. As you have been saying, each and every level has its own devils and has its own things. I want another level. I need a certain strength again to go to that level. And one of the things that I really need is again to upscale myself in this self-image, in my self-image. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Anyone who wants to share their awareness now with this new awareness of their self-image, want to share what came up for you? What did you notice about yourself and how your self-image has been limiting you all along? Anyone who wants to share that? I picked on Wami because I've worked with her for a very long time and I know what was happening there. But let's see who else is still here. Siam, let's hear your story. Okay, I don't think she's ready there. So I think is Lilo still there? Lilo, hey, I know I'm not pronouncing this name properly, but I'm just going to call that Lilo. Yeah. I've unmuted you, Lilo. Yes.
Man, I joined late. What's after this?
Yeah, I got robots. When how what awareness did you get there about yourself and the self-image?
Recording. Maybe my perception of self-image is different from what your teachings today.
Okay.
About tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, I think let's call it.
Hello, Coach.
Yes, Tembi.
Coach.
Yes, Tembi, go on.
For me, the aha moment is that comparison is the chief thief of joy. I think quite a number of times I have, compared myself, compared things, compared my business performance, and that ended up giving me, the negative thoughts that I'm not really doing enough. And what has really become an awareness to me is that aspect that, it's my life that I'm living, and therefore there's no need for me to compare with others. Thank you.
You are most welcome. You are most welcome. Anyone there? You want to say something? Where is she? Okay, is there anyone who wants to share before I end the call? This is your opportunity. Okay, all right, if there is no one, so I'm going to go ahead and end the call. So thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for showing up and attending. Okay. So thank you so much for attending and making a commitment to attend this at this time. I know it's a commitment that you have made, and I value it and I don't take it lightly. And you feel free to watch this again once the recording is released if you feel like you want to get more information on it. So otherwise, thank you so much for attending this call. See you in the program. Those who are joining, I will see you on the other side. Thank you very much.